Welcome back to another episode of your Wellness Friend podcast, your go-to place every Wednesday for gut health tips, real talk, and wellness wins you can actually stick to. I'm your host, Francis, certified wellness coach and your personal guide to feeling amazing in your body, especially if you had your gallbladder removed, dealing with digestive issues, or just want to stop feeling like your food is the enemy. If this show has helped you in any way, would you do me a quick favor? Leave me a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It helps more women like you find this show and start feeling better, faster. And if you're ready to take the next step, head over to my website to learn more about working with me one-on-one. Let's grab your matcha and let's dive in. Hello, ladies. Okay, it's been a minute. Yeah, it's been a little bit of a minute. So this is episode 13, and episode 12 was about 2 weeks ago. This is the first time since I started a podcast that I actually took a break or I missed a week. And honestly, yeah, I kind of missed it. And granted, just being 100% transparent with you ladies, it was with reason. So if you ladies and gentlemen follow me on Instagram, and if you don't, the link will be down in the bio. I had a tough week. I started off the first week of October finding out that I was let go from my standard 9 to 5 job. And I needed a minute. I needed a beat. I needed to take the time and just go through the emotions, allow myself to feel the feels, and to really just get myself together, to be 100% honest. And I'm thankful, very thankful. I'm thankful that I have really built a structure to where I know what my body needs physically, mentally, emotionally, and I was able to give myself that space. So I'm very, very thankful for that. And then on the flip side of it, I'm also very surprisingly at peace with it. I had loved my 9 to 5 job. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely loved it. And it definitely provided me a lot of clarity and a lot of direction that I needed. God is great. God already knew and already understood the assignment and had things already set up for me. Hence the podcast, hence the business. All of that really did get started over the last few months, and it's something that I know He really had prepared for me. So that chapter of my life is done, and I'm really enjoying and looking forward to the next chapter. So again, if you ladies do not follow me on Instagram, the link will be in the bio. I'm actually going to be doing a 30-day challenge on there. I am challenging myself to post daily, something I've never done before. So yeah, come by, say hey. I would love to get to know you guys. But on today's episode, I was sitting down speaking with a client. They recently got their gallbladder removed. They were expressing the fact that they really were just not feeling well. They did not understand a lot of what their body was going through. So we definitely had a little sit down, a little chit chat about it. And the conversation that we had was that they understood by with having a gallbladder removed, there's plenty of advice, right, about what to do about diarrhea. But nobody talks about the other side. And that other side is constipation and bloating, right? So I decided, you know what, let me make this episode and let me uncover why this isn't talked about enough and really give you ladies strategies to finally find some relief. So make sure you grab your matcha or your drink of choice and paper and pen, and let's get this real. Let's get this started. So I always like to give stories. I love experiences. I would tell my clients all the time when I would be in my 9 to 5 that a lot of the times I was horrible with names, but if we had a story that was relatable, I knew you. I knew everything about you. And yeah, that's kind of how I've always been. So I like to share my stories with you guys so that you guys could relate to me. And eventually, when we meet face to face, you could be like, I remember you because of this story. So, what happened was is that when I got my gallbladder removed, I expected the typical issues that everybody warns me about. So, like diarrhea after having fatty foods, really being a little limited on what I could eat. And what nobody mentioned was that my real struggle would have been constipation and painful, bloated feelings. I will never forget, there were some times that I would drive home from work and I had a horrible meal throughout the day, and I just definitely ate all of the wrong food. And I would be driving home, and the pain that I would feel in my stomach as I was driving, I sometimes even thought I was going to faint from the pain. I mean, I know it sounds dramatic, but it was so excruciating. And it left me feeling like just ignored whenever I asked anybody for advice. And I really was truly like unsure how to get help and really understand why I was feeling what I was feeling. Because to me, it made sense. I have fatty food, it's going to give me the runs. Like that to me, for some reason, made sense. But with the constipation and with the bloating and the painfulness of it all, I'm like, where did this come from? And what happened is that so many ladies without a gallbladder, we do not realize that no one talks about it enough, that we really kind of just feel left out. So I would again love, this question kind of came up, like I said, from a client conversation that I had. But please leave in the notes or leave in the comments any questions that you may have. Like, I would love to go ahead and be able to answer them for you. And the one thing that, as I've said many times before, I am a researcher. I love to research. And what helped me to really understand what was going on in my body was just educating myself. So let me kind of explain the four things or the four reasons as to why constipation and bloating can happen after gallbladder removal. So first, bile flow changes. So the bile flow will go ahead and change. So without a gallbladder, the bile drips slowly into the intestines, which can sometimes slow digestion instead of speeding it up. So definitely bile flow was a big thing for me personally when I first started looking into the painfulness and what it entailed about not having a gallbladder. Besides that, recently, I would say over the last few years, digestive enzymes, that was really brought to my attention and how that could have a serious imbalance in your body. What it does is that food isn't breaking down as efficiently, which of course leads to bloating. So another thing was the fat and the fiber confusion. So fiber could actually slow down the digestive system overall, and fat, too much of high fat could actually cause diarrhea. So that's kind of where another issue came up that was not really explained to me, was that difference. Because many women aren't told how to balance their fiber and fat properly. So too much or too little can really swing digestion in either direction. And then lastly, the gut mobility issue. So stress, hormones, or medication can be used to worsen constipation, but is very rarely discussed. And when I found out these information, or I kind of educated myself in regards to this, I was extremely surprised. So many women are not told this when they have their gallbladder removed. No one, again, is given a really good direction or a stack of papers or flyers to read when they're leaving the actual clinic or they're leaving the hospital after gallbladder surgery. So again, the purpose of this podcast is really to help you ladies understand like practical tips and strategies whenever we bring up any concern on this podcast. So here are a few things that I definitely tell my clients about right off the bat. And it's really easy and really gentle and really not as dramatic as you may think. And this here, if you follow these things on a daily basis, it would actually help to combat that constipation and bloating. So I know everyone says it, hydration. So aim for a steady water intake throughout the day to keep things moving. That will make a ginormous difference. And make sure that the hydration, you could do it in any kind of way. You can have a really cute Stanley, or you have a really good cup, or you could have a gallon or a full liter of water with you throughout the day. And honestly, try to aim for steady water intake throughout the day to keep things moving. Hydration will be key, ladies, will be key. And then next would be more of a gentle fiber balance. So instead of jumping into like high fiber, go ahead and add some cooked veggies and some soluble fibers like oats, chia, or flaxseed. And you could do that slowly. So slowly go ahead and start jumping into it. It will help you tremendously with your fiber balance. And then, of course, everything is in moderation. What we do here in Your Wellness Friend podcast and what I do with my clients one-on-one is I teach them about having a balance. It's so important to have balance in your life. And one of the biggest thing also is healthy fats. Not all fats are bad, just like all carbs are not bad. So everything really does need to be done in moderation. So for example, small amounts of olive oil or avocados can actually support the bile flow. And that's something to keep in mind in your day-to-day when you're prepping your meals or you're just getting a lunch or getting a dinner or getting a breakfast. Like that honestly makes such a big difference. And then this is something that's again really kind of free, and that is doing some daily walks, stretching, or even yoga poses can help the digestive system in its tracks. So of course, movement and posture and all of that can sometimes be the fastest fix ever. And then besides that, you want to give yourself supportive digestion naturally. That's the reason why I say warm water, lemon water, ginger tea, or digestive breathing can reduce bloat and stimulate the gut. And that's why for me, having a nice cup of warm tea before we go to bed is so helpful in controlling the actual bloating, kind of controlling all of the pain that comes along with not having a gallbladder. So ladies, if you struggle with constipation after gallbladder surgery, you're not alone. And what happened is that here on the Wellness Friend podcast, we can stay ahead of the curve and we could find solutions as a group and we could apply them and we could share them. And honestly, that will be truly the best part of my job. So I want to invite you ladies that if this episode resonated with you, if you love to hear my story, just like I would love to hear your stories, send me a message on Instagram or book a free discovery call in my Stanley store. Let's talk about how we can support your digestion after gallbladder removal. And besides that, if you found this episode helpful, I really want you ladies to go ahead and leave me a review, please, at this platform or wherever it is that you're listening to me right now, so that other women just like you can find this podcast. And with that being said, once again, I want to thank you all for listening to the very end. Thank you for all of your support. And I know that the future has great things in store. And I'm excited to see where it is that we're all going to be next. All right, ladies, you have a great evening and take care. Bye.